Instagram, Facebook. I'm sitting here right here in this is a apartment complex, and I'm looking out the window. That little road is open. I always think about this Resident Inn by Marriott because it took so hard to get it constructed during COVID time. And there's also another property going in. They rented the lot down. You can see it. That's probably going to be a commercial development. You know me, I'm Mark Morris, the engineer that paid off a $94,437 loan by becoming a salesman, or the engineer that lost paid off probably another $80,000 to $100,000 in foreclosure debt by becoming a salesman. So got this in the mail. It's about the IPM, and I just thought about it because I got a check from Grant Cardone, final check, because I only invested $5,037. So I believe for the total year, I got about 2 to 3% of my money back. But what's important about it is I know he won't disappear. That's because like right now, there's a whole lot of people out there talking about multifamily, getting returns on stuff. I'm like, how? There is no way you can get returns on half these properties, man. I like in California. Reason I'm bringing this up, I used to own 2 multifamily in Yucca Valley. My grandmother died. I inherited her house. If you looked at my caretaker tip number 3, where I talked about how, when you looked at caretaker tip number 3, where I talked about if you're going to be the executive of a state, make sure that you pay all the bills. I lost thousands of dollars by thinking that the person who was living in the house was going to pay it. There was a mistake. So the reason why I'm saying that, you got to be careful with all these multifamily stuff. Grant Cardone's a billionaire. I know he's not going to go under. I know if he fails, then hey, it's got to be something good. We both going to be We both going to be successful or have a story to tell if something like that happens. But when you go with these other fly-by-night things, talk about they're building stuff in Texas, building something in Arizona, New Mexico. Who the fuck's gonna move to New Mexico, man? Let's just talk to it. Idaho, all these places, great developments. Hey, black, what the fuck am I gonna do in Idaho, man? I don't even like going to, I don't even want to go to Arizona, and there's a bunch of black people there. I'm in California. That's why I'm investing in properties, and like he says, I gotta invest back in the South where you have what do they call it? Favorable renter things. Even then, people, I ain't got no job. Let me tell you about my story. When I had my 2 duplexes, quick stories. I thought, I'm going to put in a fence. I'm going to put in a tree because I know I'm black, and I know as a black person, I want to pay my rent. I don't want to be good to my neighbors. I don't want to be this landlord. Motherfuckers didn't pay a fucking thing, man. One lady had her Volkswagen licking oil on the fucking ground. Code enforcement got us so far up in my ass. Then she moves out, the place was just shit. Another appointment, I had another guy, they're great people. They ended up poisoning the neighbor's dog next door. Then I have another gun, you military people are just as bad. You're taking my motherfucking money, you're taking my deposit, that place is a piece of shit, man. Fuck you, nigga, I'm gonna whoop your ass. It's like, what the fuck? That's what it means to be. When I hear about rental stuff, I mean, if you're gonna invest in a big rental thing, it better be like something like like Summit Apartments. You gotta be 3, 4, 500 units. You gotta have somebody who's like been in this big, who got contacts. You got contacts. So I'm gonna say, be careful. All these people. Oh yeah, we can make money. You can make no. That's what I'm saying. Just like most of these multifamily investments are just Bernie Madoff on steroids. At least Bernie gave you guys back some of your money before you guys all got greedy and tried to pay it at once when you find out the investments are failing. It was the same as a lot of these multifamily apartments, man. I mean, so in order to make money, you got to raise the rent. You got to either raise the rent or you got to have the property appreciate where you can refinance a loan and get some of your money out. Some of these places are now interest rates like 6%, 7%. Some of them got variable interest rate that's going to go up. They're going to go under. So that's my multifamily advice for today. And I'll give you some more things. I can talk to you about tenants. What I learned? What was some of the things I learned? And then if you want, I have a program for $199 to $399. It's called the Engineer's Guide to Staying the hell away from multifamily investment. If it's under, I wouldn't go under like 200 units, man. If I was in California, I wouldn't get involved in any deals close to LA, man. Because anywhere close to LA, look at Pasadena. Pasadena, I can't been there. Pasadena, Santa Monica, Torrance, all of them are like becoming like um, rent control. Like it's coming rent control. The problem with rent control is they eventually they raise the rent, and the price goes up. It's going to cost the sky the project, cost the property to damn it, cost the property to skyrocket. And I live in and it's going to be crazy, man. So that's my tip for today. Multifamily, avoid all these like this one. All this is mostly aimed for people who have triplexes, duplexes. Go read up saying, well, I have a problem with this tenant. I just know it's small because I've been there, and you will perish going forward. You need to have like, unless you own 100 duplexes, 2 units, you got a shot. If you own 1, 2 triplex, I just get rid of that thing. Unless you're gonna be a slumlord. So that's my thing for today. So avoid multifamily investments unless the guy you're working with is billionaire, trillionaire. Go with Blackstone. Even then, like Grant says, they're just taking your money and throwing it away. It's like they're just basically shitting it away because they don't have enough investments. But they got to look like they have investments, so they're going to keep taking people's money. It's okay. If you're going to give them some money, give up the money, but make sure they hold it and don't put it into a shit investment. That's my multifamily advice for today. Later.